The head baseball coach of the Oklahoma City University Stars, Denney Crabaugh, joins us here on the Bottom Line on 98.1 FM, WWLS, a Sports Animal. Hey, Denney, you guys say over there it's a great day to be a Star, and you guys have had a lot of great days this year, as is normal for your ball club, going 47-4 to this point. You guys are champions of the Sooner Athletic Conference. You win the SAC tournament by beating USAO 13-5 last Monday. Denney, thanks for coming on. Tell us about your season. It looks like to me you guys have been as dominant as ever.
Well, thanks for having me, Matt. Yes, it's been a magical season all year long. I mean, we've had guys that have had just outstanding years and guys that have shown the ballpark every day ready to play, and it's been really fun to watch these guys go at it. We've got a veteran squad, and they know how to play baseball. They know what it takes to get themselves prepared every day, and I think our record and the way we played this year have shown those.
Hey, tell me about Cross Factor, the senior center fielder from UConn. I know at one point was at Oklahoma State. Now he's with you guys at OCU. He was Player of the Year in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Denney, when I was reading about the season that this kid has had, my eyes were falling out of my head. He's hitting .522 for the season, 26 home runs, 81 RBIs. What an amazing year for the former UConn Miller. Tell me about him.
Well, he's been so great this year, and I'm so happy for him. Last year he struggled a little bit and came back this fall and really had a really good attitude, and then he just has done it all spring. I mean, when you're sitting there saying .522, that in itself tells you a lot. I mean, that just doesn't happen, and he's been doing it all year long. He's been the guy that when you look over there and you see him in our uniform, you feel pretty good about our chances. I mean, .522, the 26 home runs. Obviously, the .522 is leading the NAIA in batting average. His home runs, he's second in home runs, fifth in RBIs. He's 17 for 18 in stolen bases, hasn't made an error all year in center field. He can cover that ground as good as anybody, and it's just been so satisfying to watch him have the type of year that he's having, because you couldn't ask for a better teammate, a better guy than he is. And we're just so happy for him.
You mentioned .522 leading the country. .522's got to be leading the free world at any level above high school, maybe even anywhere in the high school level. I know some superstars can really put up numbers in high school, but what a year that Factor's having. Excuse me. You guys also have the SAC Pitcher of the Year in Eli Davis, 10-0 in 12 starts with a 1.07 ERA. He struck out 91 batters against only 18 walks, 91 Ks and 67 and a third innings pitched. Opponents are only hitting 178 off Davis. It's not so much fun when the other team sees Davis on the lineup sheet in the dugout. What makes the junior left-hander from Shawnee so special, Denney?
Well, one thing, he's got good stuff. He can throw 4 pitches for strikes, but pretty much anytime he wants to. But the other thing is he knows how to pitch. He knows what he wants to do when he gets on the mound, how he wants to go about the thing, and he's got that bulldog attitude that, hey, I'm better than you, and you can't hit me, and I'm going to prove it right here and now. And he's been a guy that all year long has gone out there and shown it.
Hey, we're talking with Denney Crabaugh, head coach at OCU. The Stars 47-4, getting ready for the NAIA tournament beginning Monday over at Jim Wade Stadium. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Denney, tell us about some of your other standout players. In addition to Factor and Davis, infielder Noah Barks, outfielder Peyton Crispin, and right-handed pitcher Tanner Schoninger. Hopefully I'm saying that right. They were all first-team, all Sooner Athletic Conference. Talk about some of the other guys that have led the way for your club this year.
Well, Peyton has had another one of those guys who's had a really big year for us, and we're really happy again that his final year that he's put up those type of numbers: 466, 12 home runs, 78 RBIs, and he's hitting behind Cross, and that gives us a pretty potent 3-4 punch there right in the middle of our lineup. And he's there to kind of protect Cross, and he's done a good job, and he's one of those guys also that can go do it himself. I mean, in a game to get to the championship game in the SAC conference tournament, he hit a walk-off bomb in the bottom of the ninth to win the game for us. Noah's another guy that is 4-year starter for us that has been the glue of the infield for 4 years. He's got about as much baseball savvy as any player that we've ever had, and he came in that way, and he's been one of those guys who sits there and just you count on him. You know, he makes sure everybody's where they need to be and all that. And you talked about Tanner Schiniger. He's another guy, 10-0, that just goes out every day, every game, and you feel pretty good about your chances of winning the ball game when he's on the mound. And he goes out there and just competes, and he's got the stuff. He can throw 3-4 pitches for strikes, and he just goes out there and makes other hitters look bad and plays to the defense. That's one thing, you know, our defense is really good too. That's the one side of our game that a lot of people don't realize is that we really have a good defensive ball club, and Tanner takes advantage of that as much as anybody.
Yeah, I think all around baseball, Denny, I don't think people spend enough time talking about how good a team is defensively. For example, Oklahoma State's having a really good year this year. They're a top 10 team defensively. I know that for them, Justin Campbell, their Friday night starter, gets a lot of attention, as he should, because he's going to be drafted really high. And the Cowboys have a lot of big bats in that lineup, but they're really good defensively. At one point this year, OSU was fielding like 990 or whatever. I think they're in the 980s right now. I can remember the year Oklahoma went to Omaha in 2006. I want to say the Sooners were one of the top defensive teams in the country. I totally agree with you. That's something that I don't think nearly enough people bring up when they talk about a baseball team, myself included. I get caught up in, you know, batting average and ERA and on base and all that sort of thing. Hey, Denny, you've earned so much success in your 34 seasons. You've won almost 1,600 games. You guys won the national championship in 2005 and so many conference titles. I know a huge part of your success is attributed to Keith Lytle, who's been with you the entire time. What an amazing career. He's one of the more respected hitting instructors anywhere. I've heard so many stories of not just people in your program, but people all around this area going to Keith for instruction. And I know he's also had, while working with you at OCU, he's also been a part of different staffs. I know he had a stint with the 89ers at one point. I think he may have been helping out the Red Hawks, too, a little bit later on. Talk to me about Keith. What a tremendous instructor and right-hand man that you've had for so long over at OCU.
Well, I'll tell you what, I tell people all the time that Keith was my first recruit as a head coach, and to this day, he's still my best recruit to this program. But Keith, there's nobody that works harder than he does. It doesn't just come, by the flip of a coin. I mean, he works at it, and he's so passionate about hitting and about our guys and about teaching hitting, to the younger guys. Our camps are always full. He has a winter camp that goes 7 weeks, and it's always full. And it's not just about the hitting. He also teaches lessons to these kids and little stories and stuff like that. But he's one of those guys. He makes my job easy because he can take care of stuff on the field when I have to do things that head coaches have to do, administrative type things. I don't have to worry about that and what's on the field because he's been there. And like I said, we've been together for 34 years, and it's like a marriage. We finish each other's sentences a lot of times, and we come in on a given day and say, hey, I got a thought. And I said, I got a thought too. And it's a lot of times the same thought. So it's been a great relationship all the way through. He is the heart and soul of this program, and he has been for 34 years. And I am so lucky that I've been able to work with him all this time.
We're talking with Denney Crabaugh, head coach of the Oklahoma City University Stars, as they are 47-4 champions of the Sooner Athletic Conference, both in the regular season and the tournament. And they will begin NAIA tournament play Monday at home. They're hosting their regional at Jim Wade Stadium against the winner of LSU Alexandria and Kansas Wesleyan. Denny, as great a season as you guys have had, what's a key or two for your team if you're going to be able to win your regional and then then get to the NAIA World Series in Lewiston, Idaho, and win that and win a national championship. I know as many great years as you guys have had, haven't quite been able to get all the way since 2005, I believe. What's it going to take for you guys? What's a key or two for your ball club if you're going to win a national championship?
To continue to doing what we've been doing all year long. Nothing more, nothing less. Just go out there and play the game like we've played it. I told him yesterday I've got to kind of steal a quote from Coach Jones that if our guys come out and they play their best and all these other teams come out and play their best, we're going to win. And that's just what we're going to have to do. We just go out and play our game. There's no reason to try to change anything from what we've been doing all year long. And if we go out there and do those type of things, I feel pretty good about our chances to get to Lewiston and go and competing for a national championship.
Denny, do you think that's something that's hard for college kids or even younger kids than that to understand about? You know, I've heard coaches say things to the effect of, and I know everybody has their own philosophies and whatever, but I've heard coaches talk about how you're not playing your opponent, you're playing the ball, or, you know, you're playing the game. You know, don't focus on your opponent. You know, play the situation, you know, that sort of thing. Is that something that's hard for younger athletes to kind of grasp, that, hey, as long as you go out and do, you know, play the game the right way, execute, do the things that you're capable of doing, the result will take care of itself. Talk to me a little bit about that. Is that something that's tough for young athletes to grasp?
A lot of times it is, because they get focused on too far ahead and they start thinking about the consequences if we don't do those things. And they start thinking about that ahead instead of just going out there and say, hey, I believe in myself, I trust in myself, I trust in my teammates. We've been able to do this all year long and feel good about themselves going out there and playing. But a lot of times that other thing kind of starts creeping in, and that's one of the things that I remind our guys all the time, that if we show up and we play, I'll take the results that's on the scoreboard. But let's don't think too far down the line first. Let's don't put the cart before the horse. Let's go out there and play the game like we're capable of playing, and let's just see what happens.
Hey,
and like I said,
Go ahead, Denny.
No, I just said, and like I said, these guys have been doing that all year long, and I expect them to continue to do that.
Hey, Denny, thanks so much for for the visit. I really appreciate it. Good luck to you guys as you guys get the NAIA tournament started on Monday. Thanks for your time, Denny.
Thank you, Matt, for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. That's Denney Crabaugh, just a legendary figure in the sport of baseball, particularly around here. Been the head coach at OCU since 1989. He and Keith Lytle, his assistant, and I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to over the years that have sought Keith Lytle's advice on hitting. And you heard Denny talk about it. He teaches much more than just hitting. But two guys that know the game of baseball so well. I've had friends play at OCU. Can't say enough good things about those guys. And what a program they've had. They've won as many baseball games as any team, organization, program anywhere over the last 30-plus years. They do such a tremendous job. Another fantastic year this year at 47-4, led by the Sooner Athletic Conference Player of the Year in Cross Factor, who was once an OSU Cowboy, hitting .522 for the year. I can't say that without laughing. .522 for the season. And then the Pitcher of the Year in the Sooner Athletic Conference, Eli Davis, 10-0 with a 1.07 ERA. Opponents are hitting .178 against him. Good luck to whoever gets him in his first appearance in the NAIA tournament. By the way, that the NAIA tournament beginning on Monday for OCU at Jim Wade Stadium, the Stars will open up play against the winner of LSU Alexandria and Kansas Wesleyan, and hopefully the Stars will be able to advance to the NAIA World Series taking place at Lewiston, Idaho here in a couple of weeks. Good luck to the Stars, and it's always great to hear Denny here on the Sports Animal.